and welcome to the bot box. Well, we have something slightly different, an upside down triangular bot. So basically, instead of it being that shape, it was that shape. Slightly boxy, not painted, so it was silver coloured, armed with a lawnmower blade and a flail. It also had cambered wheels, so instead of it being normal 90 degrees you generally tend to expect of wheels, it was something more like 60. It also had a little caster. Incidentally, cambered wheels in robot combat is very rare. It's rare in robot combat, let alone robot wars. No mark against Victor. I most frequently see it in battle bots, particularly with lockjaw. I like lockjaw. Anyway, Victor. Victor made its debut in Series 2 of Robot Wars, landing in Heat A, and of course had to face the gauntlet. Victor went for the middle route with the bricks and the ramps, or the ramp, seesaw ramp. Whilst Victor got through the bricks just fine, it got stuck on one. But one poke from Sir Kill-a-Lot, how kind, freed Victor, and it trundled on in a straight line to the end zone, just over the ramp, over the seesaw, on its merry way, no house robots to impede it, and straight to the end. So that got Victor through to the trials, which that week was Skittles. Victor trundled into the barrels, knocked a few over, and stayed there. She got stuck into a barrel. Another barrel fell, but Victor, well, it wasn't moving. It knocked 4 barrels over. But that was enough to get through. This heat contained pièce de résistance, which knocked over no barrels. It was a bad heat for Skittles. Sorry. So that meant Victor got a fight against Lifter, Spinner, and Demolition Demon. Demolition Demon pushed Victor into the perimeter patrol zone. Early on, Victor tried to drive out, but Demolition pushed Victor right back in. Victor drove out and stopped, so Demolition Demon attacked, but its cutting disc broke. So Demolition Demon left Victor to Matilda, and argued with the house robots until cease was called and the judges were called in. Now, apparently, initially the judges ruled in favour of Victor, seeing Demolition Demon's fight with the house robots, only to get pointed out that no, Victor was dead, and thus the fight win should go to Demolition Demon. So that was Victor out. Series 2 Heat A was a weird heat of Robot Wars. Strange judges' decisions. Anyway, Victor returned for Series 3 as Victor 2, landing in Heat P, opposite end of the heat run. First in the first heat and then in the last heat. And they returned with a massive Morningstar flail. First up for Victor 2 was Horizontal Crusher Scarab. It was straight into the fight, no gauntlet this time. Victor 2 ended up in Scarab's claws early on, but Victor 2 was too tall for Scarab to do anything to it. Scarab was too flat for Victor 2's flails, but they did hit something. A mesh at the back of Victor 2. Tore the thing clean off. The two had a pushing war, Victor 2 sending Scarab to the spikes outside Sir Kill-a-Lot's corner. Scarab got bounced on the spikes and cease was called out of nowhere. Your guess is as good as mine. Next up was Axbot Trident, whose team were about as positive as the team who'd been told they got Hypnodisc next. The team met in the middle of the arena and Trident landed a couple of axe blows. A pushing war ensued, but Victor 2 got axed and drove away into Sergeant Bash. Anyway, Victor 2 got out, but Trident's axe blow stilled the flail. He came back to life, but did so a little bit too late. It was near the pit, bumped, so it basically bumped into Trident, ended up teetering on the edge of the pit before Trident pushed Victor 2 the rest of the way into the pit. And Victor 2's team was really confident ahead of that fight. They didn't return until Series 7, and when they did, it was with a different robot, the Kraken. Victor was an interesting robot, but interesting doesn't unfortunately necessarily mean good. There were quite a few robots it could not fight, just because the weapon was too high. And also, it only ever hurt Victor, not anyone it fought, and Trident's axe, of all things, could still it. Trident's axe is not known as one of the most potent axes in Robot Wars, even for a series semi-finalist. Did get a bit lucky to make it to its heat semi-finals. I mean, getting nudged by Sakillos, it could have easily ended up in a bad position there. It could have just as easily gone out had pièce de resistance actually knocked over 5 barrels. I know, asking a lot. And with Cease getting called too early on poor Scarab, which, given that Series 3 Heat P is known to be a weak heat in Robot Wars, it says something that it was lucky to get as far as it did in a heat like that, and it's not good. I'm sorry, Victor. Nice wheels, though. So, who's next? Pikey, please be kind. What is this? Oh, God, no! I have to warn you in advance, this next episode is going to take 2 parts, and is probably going to take an age. Actually, you know what? I don't have the time. I'm doing this again. Ron. Until next week, Halcyon244 out.